So this will wrap up with a little bit of modern religion, which I hadn't coined that. Not to say that I've coined it, it's just one linguistic framing. Other people have come up with similar terms, but I call it modern religion, such as social justice, censorship, institutions, global warming, moral panic, outrage culture. I also talk about celebrity and, to some degree, statistics because of how much we put aside reason and just take these in faith, among others. Of course, if you do a search on Twitter for Real Jeff Tidwell and Modern Religion, you'll see much of what I have to say framed in that context. So I say here, it's darkly humorous to watch some people cheer as their own freedoms are being chipped away at. Their minds have been conditioned. They have their masters, or their popes, or prophets in the modern religions. They are not their own master, but what's unclear to me is whether they see that or not. Oh well, not my problem. Have fun. So, as I say, I am agnostic to most, if not all, of the modern religions that I mentioned. Okay, I'm not sure if there's real moral virtue or a good reason for me to take faith in those things. But in the case of censorship, I've seen so many people make the argument, it's a private company and they can do what they want. It's a private company and they can do what they want. It's a private company and they can do what they want. And I'm saying, well, it's all well and good that the people that you don't like, the ideologies that you don't like, is being removed. They are being removed and silenced under the modern religion that is censorship. But what happens when your ideology, your belief system, your income even, if you're a content creator or somebody that relies on social media for your income and for getting customers and getting attention and satisfying orders and so on and so forth, what happens when you say the wrong thing and lose it all? Because you're going against the belief system of those that control these, virtually monopolistic corporations in big tech. What happens? These content creators that go to YouTube, and use Patreon, if they get, mass depersoned or deplatformed, they lose everything. And they can't work anywhere else because of the stigma around their name and their brand. It just destroys people. And that's how you create a lot of animosity and hate. When people have nothing to lose, that's a bad place for them to be. They have nothing to lose. So you can't, imagine the kind of psychological pressure that goes on. But I do feel that there is that question, like how much security, to have security, how much freedom are you going to give up? And that applies with the modern religions. How far down the road to hell are you willing to go to achieve the end game of, for example, social justice? Now, what happens when the oppressor you've designated arbitrarily based on immutable characteristics becomes the oppressed? Do you flip the script? Is there a transitional period between being oppressor and oppressed? Being the majority and the minority? Or does confirmation bias take over and then everybody just continues to follow the same path of essentially hatred of the oppressor, and just instead of they're not looking at them as the oppressor, they're just looking at them by the group that was the majority, or the one that was supposed to have all the power based on that postmodern framing of reality. So it can be darkly humorous. I mean, I have a bit of a sardonic sense of humor at times. To watch people cheer on their own freedoms being chipped away. Chip, chip, chip. Yeah, censor everybody. Silence everybody. Even my friends. Yeah, get rid of them. Yeah, they should have known better. They should have had right think, not wrong think. Now you have Candace Owens being placed on a list of dangerous content, I believe, at Facebook. Like Candace Owens is like a boilerplate conservative. I mean, what's wrong? What are you scared of? Is she too persuasive for you? Has her satire, has her persuasion gotten too good that you have to get rid of it? You can't allow it? It has to be regulated off? It's like, what is they're not transparent. But you can read between the lines. You're like, oh, 90% of these people are right-wing. Huh. Now, I'm a left libertarian on the political compass, but when I see people being censored for their ideology, and it's not a hateful ideology, it's a peaceful one, and it just happens to be different from that of the company, I point that out. I say, look, perhaps the faith portion of your modern religion has completely overrode your reason portion, because these are a combination of faith and reason. There might be merit to them in some ways. You might be able to attain universal truth and moral virtue through a modern religion and bring light into the world. Or perhaps, hey, there might be damages. People are saying that Christianity is hurting the abortion debate. The dogmatic and theocratic tendencies of Christianity have gone up against pragmatism in the secular sense. Some have made that argument. And in some ways, there is merit to that. Okay, but if you disagree or agree or want to talk about that, please leave me a comment below with your thoughts on abortion. Such an easy topic to talk about. So, one of those things where there are certain universal truths, and there are certain things that are left to a subjective perspective.